welcome to tonight's episode of Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel, and as always, I have a very special guest for you, a dear friend of ours, Dr. Stacie N.C. Grant, the original faithpreneur herself, is in the house tonight. She'll be with us for the next 30 minutes, so stay with us. You're watching Beyond Focus TV.
Beyond Focus TV allows you to discuss contemporary topics affecting the Caribbean people on both a national and local level. The show features informed guests who offer insight, debate, and evaluate various issues. Beyond Focus TV builds on the station's mission to provide useful information to the Caribbean people in New York and abroad. Beyond Focus TV, where our viewing audience can get educated, informed, and empowered.
Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel. Like I said, I have a very special guest for you. It's a pleasure to introduce Dr. Stacie N.C. Grant. It's so amazing to have you here. You actually are so special to the ladies of Third Thursday, of course, and now a part of the Beyond Focus family.
Well, I am thrilled to be here at Beyond Focus TV. Lydia, you are just a shining example of just brilliance here, and we appreciate the space that you hold having this TV program to really bring awareness and to just lift up other people that are doing great things. So I'm humbled to be able to count myself amongst those who've been featured on Beyond Focus TV.
Well, thank you so much. And you know what? We definitely want to let everybody at home know about all the great things that you're doing. Before that, let's kind of talk about who is Dr. Stacie N.C. Grant. We got to put the N.C. in there.
Have to put the N.C. and no Y on Stacie. I might black out.
Absolutely.
So who am I?
Yes.
Well, I'm just a girl from the hood. Like, I grew up in the Bronx, New York via Jamaica, West Indies, and just really realized early in life that I used to look at other people a little bit too much to define what I thought success looked like or what I thought I should be. Even though I had some great examples at home, it's real easy to get caught up when you're growing up trying to live out something that might not be your calling. But I thank God that as I grew, I had people around me who poured into me, who told me, don't dim your light, shine. Because, you know, when you're young, sometimes, you know, mean girls can be real mean, right?
Absolutely.
And they don't allow you to be the best of who you are and to really shine. Because I've always been a lot of. But that could intimidate some people. And it was one of my mentors who told me, never stop being who you are because other people are afraid to step up to who they can be. And that really changed my life because as a young, shy girl, I didn't think I was the prettiest, the smartest, but my confidence level was being affected by how my peers reacted to my strength. So I had to battle through some of that. And, you know, my mom, I'm sure she can remember days even in college where I used to just cry like, why are people so mean? I try to be nice to everybody. I try to help other people, but they're, as the kids would say today, hating on me. And I couldn't understand that because that's not how I was raised. That's not who I believe myself to be. But it took a journey of growth and development and understanding that I was enough. That God gave me everything that I needed to contribute to this world. He made me the way I am for a reason. And that reason is to walk out my divine assignment and to grow in my faith and not be apologetic about standing boldly in that faith and using the work that I do, the words that I have to make an impact. So this world is better because I've lived. So this little girl from the Bronx, New York has grown up and now using my voice and a platform to be an agent of change, to be an inspiration to those who want to walk in their divine calling and not just go through life, but grow through life, live on purpose.
I love it. And you know what? I see a lot of that sometimes even within myself. You deal with it even in the workforce. You kind of you downplay yourself.
Absolutely.
I find myself still sometimes you don't want to overshower. You just dim a little bit. You're like, you know what? I don't have to show myself all the time. It's about finding the right balance.
Absolutely.
You don't want to be too showy. I just let myself, let your work speak for itself.
But see, that's where we get caught up with the too showy because that's still dimming our light. You know, Marianne Williamson took her excerpt from the Course of Miracles. Is our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness that most frightens us. Who are we? Like, we have to understand that our light is supposed to shine. And if people can't take that shine, well, they need to get a new pair of glasses.
I love
that
it.
there's a reason, because you elevate someone's consciousness when you're walking in excellence. So it's not about being conceited. It's not about, being one of those people that's just full of themselves. It's about walking in all of you, letting the best of who you are shine. Because when you do that, Lydia, you're causing everyone that watches Beyond Focus TV an opportunity to step up their game. You have to be around people that challenge you, that pull you up. That because you see their level of excellence, because you see their expertise, you want to sharpen your saw, and you want to bring the best of who you are to the planet. So dimming your light doesn't serve anybody any good, because one, you're living an inauthentic life, and then two, you're not inspiring all the people that were predestined to get to know how bad to the bone you are.
Of course. And that makes a lot of sense. That's really, really good words of advice. How would you describe, or of course, you grew in your faith.
Oh, absolutely.
So you didn't just wake up and have this level of awareness that you have now.
Oh, no.
So tell us about that, because there's people who are going through that, and you could be at church every week and go and hear the word, to hear a great word, and still leave out of church feeling empty.
Okay, so let's just start right here. The devil himself can sit in the front pew, okay? Because it's not about going to church. It's about the change. It's about the growth and development of your personal relationship with God. One of the things that gets on my nerves, Lydia, is when we do all of this professing that we're so holier than thou and we're too blessed to be stressed. Hello, we all go through something, right?
Absolutely.
And our faith is a choice. Not everyone chooses to believe God is real. And I don't tell people what to believe or how to do it, but what I will not do is deny my Christ. So
Amen.
With that, I stand in my faith, and I encourage others to build their own relationship with God. And going to church shouldn't just be a formality. And honestly, I'm West Indian. I grew up going to church. I have a PhD in church. But you have to be able to get to the point where you're going because you want to build your own personal relationship with God. You want to know what these folks are talking about. We're Pentecostal background, so there's a lot of praise and worship. We don't sit still and hallelujah. No, we clapping and singing and we shouting, because sometimes you got to shout the devil off. But it's a growth that you have to develop for yourself. And every person has their own journey and their own relationship and discovery of who God is in their life. And if you live your life right, your life could be that first example that somebody sees. Your life could be the first Bible somebody opens. Your life, your words, because you can be in church on Sunday and cussing people out on Tuesday. So that's a hypocritical life, right? So you want to live a life that's consistent, that people look at you and say, wow, Lydia's always so positive, even when challenging things are happening. Even when bad things happen to good people, she still has a smile on her face. She still has a positive word, because we know we can be troubled on every side, yet not perplexed. That we serve a God who can do all things, not some things, all things but fail. And as we walk through our journey, those rough moments, those prickly moments, they make us stronger. Because if we didn't have a problem, what do we say? You would know you have a God to solve them.
And that's what I wanted to actually kind of lead into. If you could tell us one moment that you remember from young Dr. Stacie. It could be even pre-Dr. Stacie, when you were just Stacie N.C. Grant. A moment there you actually, something that kind of changed or made you realize, okay, God is real. God is evident in my life.
I love that. And there's so many moments. I'm racing through thinking about college. I was on my way to pick up some materials from a printer, and I was driving my car down Jamaica Avenue, and those who are in the New York tri-state area, Jamaica Avenue, a little misty rain outside. And I said, let me get out of the street before somebody hit. And before I could say hit, there was a dollar cab that was overtaking another car and skid, and he came straight into me, hit me up in the air. I fell on the hood of the car and rolled to the concrete. Now, we're living in an area, that particular area where I was in Hollis, Queens, is populated with a lot of West Indians. So between Jamaicans and Haitians and Guyanese, there's a whole lot of West Indians. All I heard were people screaming, Lord, she dead! Because the way the impact was, you thought, I had to have broken bones, I would be dead, and just looking at my body like a movie.
Well, that thought, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with that. We'll be right back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Stay with us. back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. So, Dr. Stacie, right before the accident, you're in the middle of the accident story.
Yes, right in the middle of going up in the air and coming down. But when I got up, I didn't know I was conscious. I didn't really see some of the blood that had come from a scrape. And of course I had to go to the ER. They thought it was broken bones. It was a sprain. But in that moment, I knew angels had buffered me from being a tragedy, that I wouldn't be sitting here today. And then there have been numerous times where things have happened. I think I'm actually going to write one of my other books of how many times the devil tried and failed to kill me.
That would be a great book.
That'd be a great book, right? Because I was driving on the highway in a brand new car on my Bluetooth talking, and I'm looking ahead and I'm seeing something shining, Lydia. I'm like, what's that? And before I could think, a piece of metal came straight through my car right by my head. I thought I was in a Final Destination movie. I was like, somebody not give me a royalty check? I couldn't believe it. I can laugh now, but it was scary. Glass was all over me, and I was going through the bridge. So there was nothing I could do. I couldn't pull over. I was coming off the Cross Bronx onto the Throgs Neck Bridge, and I'm holding the wheel of the car, driving through with a piece of metal straight through my windshield. Glass everywhere. And by the time I got through and went on the side on the clear view, I heard the sirens going and the police came. And the highway cop looked at me. He's looking at the car. He was like, how are you still alive?
Right.
He said, I see these accidents every day. A pebble hits a windshield and people lose control of the car and they crash and unfortunately die. He said, you sure are lucky. I said, no, I'm blessed. Because in that moment, I could have been killed. So I know God is real. And he's real in my life. I know he spared my life. I'm not any more special than you, Lydia, or than anybody else who's watching right now. But he loves us so much. And he patiently sits by waiting for us to give him a little attention so we can get to know him a little bit more and appreciate the things that he brings us through so that we can share our testimony with others.
And I also think when you get those close calls, I always look at it as my time isn't up. He has still more work for me to do.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
I didn't finish what I was supposed to finish. My mission isn't complete.
That's right.
So
That's right.
He's like, nah, you're gonna finish. I got more work for you to do. So
you know what it makes me think of? Zora the Explorer. Don't judge me. I have children. So when they were young, Zora the Explorer was one of those cartoons that were on. It was like, swiper, no swiping. I feel that's what you have to tell the devil. Devil, no swiping. Like he can't get you because you're covered. And God will cover you and keep you. It doesn't say that weapons won't form. And I'm not one of those people that'll tell you it's a rose garden, right? And there's nothing that's going to affect you in life. God didn't say weapons wouldn't form. What he did say is no weapon form will prosper.
Right, and there's a difference. So you go through the challenges, and I think a big part of that is you need to go through something. How are you going to have that appreciation for what he does if you don't ever feel a little bit of trials and tribulations? You have to. Doesn't mean you're not going to come out stronger, but you have to almost go through it.
Right.
To be able to have to pass the test to have testimony.
Absolutely. And look at the world we're living in. Everybody is struggling with something. None of us are exempt. I'm not exempt. I tell people because I stand strong in my faith and I speak and I train and I travel the world doing this work, doesn't mean I get a get out of jail free card. No, it means there's more attacks actually because I am standing strong. But what I do know is that I can be encouraged because it didn't come to stay. It's come to pass. And if we can just stay the course, if we can just wait the wait out until we get on the other side of whatever we're going through, then we can use that testimony to help someone else who might be approaching their challenge. Because if you haven't gone through anything, as someone very wise once told me, keep living.
That's a fact. So tell us, what is a faithpreneur?
So a faithpreneur, I'm so excited to share that with you. So a faithpreneur is a faith-based entrepreneur with a fidelity to God in organizing, managing, and operating a business, and or a faith-based professional looking to add another stream of income to their personal economy, understanding that retirement might not give them everything that they need, and they have some transferable skills that they want to add another way to bring in income. So they want to have maybe a small business on the side or develop